Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Anne Geiger and I'm working for Bosch in Stuttgart, Germany. What I find really interesting is that our founder, Robert Bosch, is not only connected to the company, but also founded the Robert Bosch Stiftung. Let's find out together how the foundation is working on a just and sustainable future. Come along. As Robert Bosch's grandson, you can probably tell me best, what was his commitment to public welfare?
His central commitment was to his own company, but he knew very well that this company can only flourish in a flourishing society, and he felt always there's something he wanted to give back. And then during lifetime that shaped itself in a very specific form.
And how would you then describe his legacy?
He was a child of his time. A very deep impression for him was the First World War. To see Europe so dissected and in a very cruel war, that was a turning point for his life. And he didn't want to earn any money from this war. So he started to make big donations. And he had 3 areas that have been important for him. This was peace, international understanding in direct response to the war. And that was health, public health, and education.
So how does the foundation continue Robert Bosch's legacy today?
We continue Robert Bosch's legacy by the guidance that he gave us in terms of focus topics, that is health, education and global issues. And also Robert Bosch was very far-sighted. He couldn't foresee how the world will evolve over many decades. So he asked us to review our strategy and to adjust it in the time to the issues like global migration, the climate change that we're having, or the threat to democracies. And we do this in his way of investing for social change. And we don't do this all alone. This is not just us doing it. We do this with a lot of partners in Stuttgart, Germany, Europe, everywhere, and in order to achieve our ambition.
And how much does the foundation spend on those activities?
Over the last 60 years, this was 2.3 billion euros, quite a huge sum of money. And to put this into perspective, last year we invested 97 million. We get this money from the dividend from the Robert Bosch GmbH, and we use it for our programs, but we don't interact in terms of strategy or operations. The company runs its business by itself, and we run our philanthropy by ourselves.
So we've seen that both the foundation and the company are equal legacies of Robert Bosch. His philanthropic guidelines live on today in the foundation's activities. Let's take a closer look at the 3 funding areas and what they focus on. What would you say is the broader vision of the funding area on education?
Our broader vision in the field of education is that we are committed to ensuring that all children and young people in Germany have the same opportunities and can perform well. We test new ideas in practice and support innovative projects because we want to benefit and we want to challenge the education system in Germany. We work with school teachers, with school directors. We also work with the authorities, with researchers in the field of education and with politicians.
And can you also name some examples of your work?
Every year since 2006, we honor good teaching with the German School Award. And we have a movement with those award-winning schools, showing other schools how good teaching is possible and how it works.
Can you tell me a little bit about the concept behind the funding area Global Issues?
In our work on global issues, we are committed to achieving peaceful coexistence worldwide. And for this, it is crucial to find solutions to the major challenges of our time. We want to help create sustainable and inclusive peace. We want to tackle the climate crisis by promoting a just transition in land use. We want to ensure dignity in migration and help shape a stronger sense of community in immigration societies. We want to reduce inequalities and we want to support democracy.
Those are very big challenges and topics to focus on. Can you maybe name one specific example of how you do that?
We want to empower people who have not been heard enough by the public and by politicians. One example is the Land and Climate Youth Negotiators program. It enables young people, many of them from African countries, to take part in UN climate and land negotiations and thus make their voices heard at an international level.
We are sitting here in a special place. Can you tell me a little bit, where are we and what happens here?
The Bosch Health Campus was arranged around the Robert Bosch Hospital, an old traditional hospital. We have treatment in the hospital, cutting-edge, excellent medicine. When we have research here, translational research, we try to finding new therapies, for example, clinical pharmacology and oncology. Third, we have a funding area where we try to be really pioneers of the new healthcare thinking.
Can you point out one area of excellence?
For example, oncology is one activity in the last years where we really tried to accomplish a lot. Besides, we have excellence areas in heart medicine, in geriatric medicine. What we are doing here must help the patients directly. That's important.
Health, education and global issues. It's impressive to see the scope of activities at the Robert Bosch Stiftung. Finally, let's find out how the foundation helps to tackle today's big societal challenges at the policy level. Which kind of work is the foundation engaged in with politicians?
We are strengthening cross-party networks of political decision makers because we believe it makes the political system more resilient and adaptable. And we are bridging the gap between the expertise of eminent think tanks and our fellows from the academy with decision makers in order to allow them to learn from international best practices.
You mentioned the academy, the Robert Bosch Academy. Who is it for?
The Robert Bosch Academy invites international stakeholders, be it politicians, experts or academicians, to come to Berlin to pursue a project of their own choice, which is not only relevant for their own work, but also can provide insights, very relevant insights for stakeholders here in Berlin.
You want to know more? Then check out the Robert Bosch Stiftung's website and subscribe to the newsletter.